You hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me? Okay. We
I
should
hear
be
you.
good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so
That
we're up. It's saying no sound. They're saying no sound now.
okay, it may be a delay, it may be coming up in just a second. So give it a second.
Okay, now someone said it. I think it came up.
Okay.
We apologize, everybody. Trying to get this right first time.
It say both good. So
Um,
we should be good to go
okay,
from there.
let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Okay.
Uh, all
Now
right. So
go
yeah,
ahead and
go ahead.
tell us a
That.
little bit about yourself and about the credit repair shop.
All right. Well, again, my name is Stephen Williams. Uh, I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army, which now in my later life, that's turned out to be pretty big. I graduated uh, from high school in Richardson, Texas, but I'm way up here north in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And uh, the way this is what happened to me on my journey to learning about credit and credit repair and debt settlement is I started a business in 1990, and from that business I started making good money. But I found out very fast that I didn't know how to handle money. So my wife and I, we got into bad financial trouble. Couldn't even send my mom a couple of $100s, and I'm making uh, $8,000 a month and can't even send no money home because when the money was coming in, I was blowing it right back out. I was blowing the money. And so in 1994, my wife and I sat at the kitchen table, Christmas of 1994, and we said we were going to get out of debt. We was $300,000 in debt. And the way that we got out of debt was number one, we stopped buying stuff, we gave stuff back, paid, did settlements to pay the difference, and during that process, learned about credit and debt. Learned about it, that you could settle debt. Learned about validating debt. That some debts you didn't have to pay if it went past a certain time frame. Um, Even with debts that you had, I learned that that you could do something what's called a validation, and even if it's a debt that was newer, that if they didn't maintain all of the paperwork, that you didn't have to pay. So that's my background on how I got into this here, and I'm a business owner. Been married almost now 30 years. Three kids, four grandkids now, and probably one more on the way.
Okay.
Uh, so I mean, that's basically me. That's what I do. Uh, and I enjoy helping people work their way out of their credit and debt. Like this is like an education that I'm just passing on to people.
Okay. Okay. Okay, everybody, remember to go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And you can ask any questions in the chat room, and I'll pick them up and I'll ask them to Steve later. Okay, Steve. Just by going through your website, can you give us a little bit on what is Positive Mind Credit Repair Education that you offer?
Positive minded credit repair is something that I came up with, but it's not really new. Well, the positive minded part is something that I've learned in my life is that uh, the thinking, what you think is actually projecting what's going to happen in the future. That's how you can have two people can read the same information and they can apply that information, but they can have two different outcomes. And the reason why that happens is because the thinking, what that person is thinking in their mind, is going to actually make a difference on the outcome that they get. To give you an example, uh, I deal with a lot of business owners, and there's been business owners that start the same business. They have the same amount of money to start that business, same educational background. One business fails, the other one succeeds. And when I study that, and when I study myself on what's happened in my life over time, it's the way that you think. If you think that something is going to work for you, more than likely it's going to work, or you're going to be headed on. You're going to be in a better place than the person that is thinking, "Oh, I tried that before. It's not going to work for me. Everything always fails when I try." So you can already see. So when we talk about credit repair and getting out of debt, people are getting to a place that they probably haven't been before, especially when we're talking about getting out of debt. And if it's talking about repairing their credit, most people are very fearful because they think there's no way I'm going to be able to climb out of this. And so they're already thinking in a negative, they're thinking the wrong direction. And that affects the belief that they're going to have that it can be done. It can also affect uh, the actions that they'll take. They'll quit too early when things start not looking as good as they thought it should be. They'll quit rather than just plowing through and keep going and keep going. And so the first thing I try to teach in my YouTube videos, what I try to talk about on my website, is let's all come into this credit repair process thinking positive, and then you're going to be in a better place than you started. I guarantee that. And all you have to do is not worry about all the ups and downs that happen in the middle.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it'll be a life changer. How can you tell us a little bit how it's changed your life for the better?
I can tell you this. Number one, it took us all the way from 94 to 99 to work our way out of debt. Uh, the first benefit is I ended up buying my first car paying cash at that time.
Okay.
So I didn't have any monthly payments. When you and also you start to save so much money. Like when you look at how many monthly payments you have going out, and you look at what you have to pay if you have bad credit compared to people who have good credit. If you look on my website, I always say bad people with bad credit pay more for the same thing that people with good credit pay less for. So when I fixed my credit, and I went out there and started using it when we bought our house that we built in 2004. We got the prime interest rate. Like I'm talking about now that house is worth 500,000. We got that and we're paying $1,300 a month because of the interest rate. It made that much of a difference. And so that's one of the huge benefits is that you're just going to pay a lot less. You're going to be able to save a lot more money. And when you go to get a loan, you know you're going to get approved. It's not going to be like a car dealer or some bank is doing you a favor. You're going to be doing them a favor because you're bringing them your business, your money, and you have excellent credit. You're a plus person. They cater to you. It's a
Okay.
lot different than when you're going there with bad credit. They look to take advantage of people.
Right, right. Okay. I have a couple questions. Can you please give us an email address or a way people can get in contact with you for a consultation?
Okay, the first place, if you're looking to be a credit repair customer, you can call 866-803-5781, and Greg is the one that will handle those calls. If you want to send us a message, please go to the website, the THC, and Larry, could you type that in there,
Okay.
thecreditrepairshop.com, and we have a live chat in there, and Jamil will contact you uh, from the live chat. That's right there on our website. It's usually in the bottom right corner, and I can type that too, or you got it up there. I can type it too here.
Yeah, I already got it in there.
Oh, you got it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
they can go there. Either one of the sales reps will be able to, talk to you. If it's something that they can't answer, they'll get it to either me or customer service. And
Okay.
I'll type that number in too.
Okay. Let me and I can see on here there's a question. someone had about medical collections.
Okay. With medical collection, there's two ways that we attack medical collections, and this is the way that you can attack it too. Now, first of all, they cannot legally place medical history, your medical history on your credit reports, but they do get around it. And some of the major hospitals have been having people sign to allow them to share it with a third party and place it on your credit reports. But what the first thing that I would do with medical information is to submit to each of the bureaus and to the hospital or the doctor who submitted it or the collection agency and ask them who gave you permission to share my medical history. That will usually get it off your credit report. But now the next thing though is it doesn't make the debt go away, so you're going to have to deal with the debt. And what I always tell people to do is to do a validation to make sure that the hospital bills and everything is correct, that if you had insurance, that some of that wasn't supposed to be paid for the insurance, and that it's just 100% your deductibles.
Okay, okay. So what happens when they do find the error?
Oh, they'll take it off. Number one, it's not an error to put it on your credit reports. They don't think that it's an error to put it on your credit reports that you owe medical. What it is that there's HIPAA violation. They're violating the law by sharing your information with a third party without your permission.
Oh,
So you can have it removed just solely because of that.
okay.
Okay, you there?
Yes,
All
can you
right.
hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, okay. And I didn't want to keep you long. I just wanted my last question for you. Can you give us a brief summary of your 8 point validation system that you have on your website?
Yeah, eight point validation system is where when we challenge and validate negative credit, we make them go through an 8 point validation process where we ask the name, social security number, the we want to get uh, the what do you call it, the bill, the statements, to make sure that this debt is valid to even be able to be placed on the reports, and also to be able to be collected by a debt collector. There's numerous things that we would check for, and any of those reasons, if it's not crossed off, can get it taken off your credit report just as a technicality, because the law states in the Fair Credit Reporting Act that it must be 100% accurate. And people will notice when they get their credit reports, they'll see that there'll be like three different balances. It could have one account number shows one way and shows another on another one. That they can't report information that way, because the reason why is because the computer algorithm can look at it and make it look like you're either an alias or like you have two accounts when you have one account, and they're saying you have this balance here and that balance there. They
Okay,
can't do that because the way they figure the credit scores is by algorithm, and if everything isn't correct, it can actually make your credit score go down, and that's hurting you, and that's against the law. So so our 8 point validation system is to do those checks.
okay. So if someone wanted to order their credit report, would they call you, or what would be the first step in doing that?
Yeah, that's. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm gonna type in the website that we would like people to go to, because everything starts with reading that credit report. Once you know what's in front of you, that's how you can start getting over that hill and start to get it fixed. So I want people to go to www.your the number three scores.com. If you get your report from there, you can contact us. We'll do a free review. We will tell you exactly what we see, what can be done, and you can decide if you want to sign up with us. And I want to let everybody know it is a process. This is not overnight. It's a process. I have a full-time staff that works on it. and we do everything that we have control of. And then once it's sent to the bureaus and the furnishers or debt collectors, it's in their hands, and we have to wait for them to be able to respond. And if you get your reports there, we'll do a free review, and we'll let you know what can be done.
Okay.
You got any other questions? There was a part. I don't know if you have to head out. You got to head out.
Oh yeah.
You got to head out, Larry.
Uh, no, I got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, I did want to put this on here because well, someone had asked about the Santander real
Okay.
quick. We're doing that Santander demand letter. We're using an attorney uh, firm, De Los Santos Law here in Milwaukee, and they lost us. What I won't say they lost. They just agreed to a settlement with 34 states, and there's the rest of the states are also coming in on a new lawsuit. But we have the demand letters, and we send that directly to Santander because what they're supposed to do for people who had their cars repoed, they're supposed to forgive the debt, the deficiency balance on that repo. So no debt collector can try to get the money from you. They won't get the money from you. They're going to just forgive that debt and also remove the negative information off of your credit reports. They agreed to that in the settlement. Now, if you have your vehicle, some people will get to keep their vehicle and they will pay off the car and give you the title. That's in the settlement. That's not something that I'm making up. But it is going to be a process. It's not going to be overnight. I actually spoke with a Santander representative, and this is their process. They get the demand letters, and they did say that the demand letters that come from an attorney is going to get looked at higher than someone sending it in themselves. But if you can't afford to have an attorney do it, go ahead and send it in yourself because you just never know if you're going to qualify. But it goes to them, an executive team reviews the demand letter, and then it's moved up to the legal team, which is going to be the lawyers. And that's why I'm thinking that if a lawyer sees a demand letter from another lawyer, it's going to bump that up higher on the scale of paying attention to. So but that's the information I got. They did say that it might take a year to resolve all of this, which I think personally is very unfair.
Okay.
But that's just that's the law, and that settlement agreement gives them that opportunity.
Okay.
Uh, so,
Let's see.
any other quick question that I might could answer for somebody? Someone said, "Can I, as a parent of a minor child, place a credit freeze on?" Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And with the ID theft that's going around right now, yes, you probably should, and open it back up when that child turns 18.
That would
What's
be a good
another one?
idea. I
You,
see. How about a debt loan coming after you, but not on your credit report?
you should. That's a good one because they may not have the proof to put it on your credit report. But if that's a 30-day letter, if they just sent you that letter, if you don't respond, the law gives them the right to place it on your report. So you should immediately, you have 30 days to do it. Send them a letter back responding to them and say that you want to dispute that debt and you want them to send you all of the information to prove you owe the debt. And we're not talking about just some bill. They need to give, if it's a credit card, you want the original contract that you signed when you got the credit card, and you want all of your charges and all of your payments. If they don't have that, they cannot go after you for it because the court would make them have to have that. But they don't expect you to ask that question. And that's even more detail about what our 8-point validation system is. Is there
Okay.
another question on there?
Uh, that's what I was looking. I don't see anything as of right now.
Okay,
Um,
but I really want to thank everybody that came on here. We're going to get this right. We'll get this right and do this a little bit more. And but I appreciate everybody. I appreciate your time, Larry, for getting this set up for me because I'm totally new to this stuff right here.
Yeah, we'll get everything squared away. Give us another week and we'll have everything taken care of.
Somebody had a quick question about trade lines. Yeah,
It's
with the trade lines are very effective on getting. Huh?
no, I was just
You
I seen
there?
it. It said, have you
You
talked
there?
about trade lines?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
okay. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, trade lines. I didn't talk about them, but trade lines are very effective. Trade lines have been used by the rich for years to help their children, to help their friends, family, to help other people that own businesses to be able to qualify for a loan. Trade lines are 100% legal, but you have to be careful when you're getting a trade line. You don't want to get someone who is overusing their credit cards, or if you're using a company, you want to make sure that you check out that company. But basically, what you're doing is you're piggybacking on someone else's uh, credit card history. And if you want to make sure that they use it because it needs to be used every month, but they keep that balance below 35 to 30%, or they pay it off each month. But basically, when you get that, when they get a trade line, put your name on there, and then like about 20 to 25 days later, all of the good history that they had from a couple of years maps over to your credit report, and your credit score can boom. We've had people that have jumped up to 150 points. If you have no negative on your credit reports, it can jump up to 150 points if you had the right type of trade line placed on there.
Okay, okay. We did have
That was
another
for
question. We
millionaire.
had another question that came in, and it say, "Do you recommend fixing your credit first before doing trade lines?"
I do. I do. I recommend fixing the credit first because it can go up. But if you're trying to get the trade line to be able to qualify for something, you might as well put all of your focus on repairing your credit first and then doing the trade line, because you're going to get the maximum boost when you put that trade line on there if your credit is fixed.
Okay, and
And
do you got time
Amy,
for one more question? This will be the last one.
well, I got time. I mean, it's depend on you what you gotta go.
Okay, well, I can see them. They're still coming in. It's a if one of the bureaus never responds to the request to update personal information after 3 attempts, what are their options?
A fourth attempt, and to rewrite your demand that they update that personal information. Basically, what happens when they get your information at the bureaus, that individual has 1 minute to 90 seconds to make a determination on what they're going to do. And if it's something that seems like it's a canned, like a letter that they've seen before, or it just doesn't seem like something that they should pay attention to, they just put it into the pile where it says verified. So if you've ever tried to repair your credit and you keep getting these letters back from the bureau and it says verified, that's because they did not actually read through it. The person who got it and opened it read it for a quick second, didn't think it was gonna, didn't pay any mind to it, and slipped it into the computer, and the computer read it, and then it just spit it out later to come to you 30 days later saying verified.
Okay,
We got DL with a medical collection.
okay. It
Two,
says, I have a
uh-huh.
medical collection, 7.5 years old, two that are 6 years old, three that are 5 years old. Should I pay them off or allow them to drop off? The oldest have two debt collectors trying to sue me for 75 and 150.
Oh, for those amounts,
Pay them.
you need to pay them.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up. What you could do first, this is what you should do first, though. Look up your the statute of limitations for contract law in your state. Look that up first, and then if it's past statute of limitations for debt collection, then you should just notify them in a simple letter saying that let me bring, how do I usually say it, uh, the debt that you're attempting to collect is past the legal statute of limitations according to the laws in my state, and that you demand that they cease all collection activity, or you will be reporting them to the proper authorities in your state. And the proper authorities in your state are the state attorney general's office and the banking, whoever handles the banking license in your state, because they also handle the debt collectors. If you send them a straight up letter like that, when you know that the debt is past the statute of limitations, they'll just stop. If it's not past the statute of limitations, call them up, offer them, maybe 25%. They'll probably jump up to 50% and then pay them off. Because you rather not have that, either stay on your credit or get placed on your credit.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to sit here. I wanted to uh, read one of your testimonials that you have on your website.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was
Which one is that?
it's Daniela?
Oh yeah, yeah. She was
Okay,
one of the first ones that sent one to us. Very nice photo over there. Yeah, she had sent that to us. Yeah. Go
okay.
ahead and read.
It says the credit repair shop literally gave me a fresh start. Before, I was stressed out and exhausted from being turned down from lender to lender. As of now, I currently in the phase of purchasing a home. I'm more confident and feel more secure. I want to extend a very big thank you to the credit repair shop family, Daniela.
Yeah, and I when she sent that, I was like, thank you, because and she was one of the ones where there was a lot of back and forth. She stayed like she was already thinking like, I'm just gonna do what y'all tell me to do, and it's gonna happen. Like, we never tell people exactly when everything will be repaired. We have an estimated date, but everybody's situation is different. But yeah, she sent that over, and I was like, "Thank you." We didn't even ask for that, but I remember when she said, "I'm getting this house," and then there's another lady on there. She took a picture when she was signing for her house, and she took a picture in front of her house. Like, these are like life changing events for people when that stuff happens for them, because it gives them their control back. And that's what I love hearing about those.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, I got another question out of the chat room. Joshua says, how do you go about handling closed accounts that appear negative on my report?
You submit them as obsolete. If they're a closed account, you have a right to submit it as an obsolete account. And I would suggest doing those one by one. Don't send those in the same group together. Yeah, do those one by one, but you just submit that the account that is showing on your credit report is obsolete and that you wish for them to remove it.
Okay, okay, everybody. Can we get anyone that's just joined the credit repair shop today? We have Steve Williams, and he's giving us a little background on the credit repair shop, answering some questions. So if you have some questions, please add them to the chat room and give us a thumbs up in the chat.
Okay, here go one from DL. He says he has some collections and he has money saved up, and wait, he has about 10 in collections. I have cash to pay it, but I've never had that much extra cash in savings and don't want to give it up. That's why when you are in that situation, that's why you do the validation. You could either do it one by one, or if the same collector has it, you still have a right to ask all of the information. And one of the biggest benefits that happened when I started doing it, when I started working on my credit, when I had the issues, is when you start asking them questions about, send me the information that I'm asking for, because they know they don't expect you to do that. They expect you to just say either I can't pay or I don't, it's not mine. That's what they expect. But when you hit them with, I want to validate this debt. Send me the original contract. Tell me the relationship between me and you, because I don't remember ever doing business with you? Did you buy this debt? Okay, show me that you bought this debt. When you start asking those questions, you start seeing the debt collectors bag up, and they might even say, "Hey, you owe 550 for this one. Could you want to settle this for half?" And then you saying, "Well, I can't do that one for half. I'm working on other stuff that I'm trying to pay off. I could do it for maybe 125 or
Right.
100." You start taking your control back, and you can get those settled and keep that cash. But I can tell you from experience, from personal experience, you want to go ahead and get those knocked out, because you don't want to have that stuff come back on you when you even have more money, and you never know if the laws change. We living in a crazy time right now in this country, and these debt collectors go and lobby and get some different rules, and they make it even easier for them to try to dip into somebody's bank account or to look at the assets that they have.
Right. Um, I guess one of the other questions that I had, like when debt collectors are calling you, what steps do you take?
The first thing is to answer the phone. When I started answering the phone when debt collectors called, then it allowed me to be able to start asking those questions. So if a debt collector calls you, the first thing you need to do is you need to say, "I need you to send me in writing what this is pertaining to." They might try to go back and forth. You owe this, that, saying all these things. You have a right to just get that information mailed to you, and then you could tell them, "I only want you to communicate with me in writing." That stops them from being able to call your job. That stops them from being able to call your neighbors. They'll try to have people looking for you because you've given them the notice, and they record that call. And there are lawyers that will get those calls that they recorded, and if they have a blank space in there where they claim you didn't tell them that you didn't want any more phone calls, they can get sued, and you can get $1,000 per violation. So number one, answer those calls. Number two, tell them to send it to you in writing. Number three, tell them to cease all calls and to only communicate in writing. That is in the Fair Debt Collection Act, Practices Act. That is an actual line in the law. So you have a right to do that. Then when you get that information, you look at it, you make your own determination. If it's something that you know you owe, it's fresh, you want to try to do a settlement, you can approach them about doing that. If it's an old debt, first thing you do, check statute of limitations to make sure that it's not past the statute of limitations to legally collect in your state. It's different for every state. If it's past statute of limitation, send them a letter. What I just stated earlier, letting them know that they're trying to attempting to collect a debt that's past the legal statute of limitations for contract law, and that you will notify the proper, and that you demand they cease all collection activity, or you'll notify the proper authorities in your state, which is the state attorney general's office, and whoever is the banking license division in your state. They also license the debt collection companies. Um, so if it's not past statute of limitations, then you go to step three, and that's where you're going to ask for all of the information pertaining to that debt, the 8 point validation system. You want the original contract, you want the balances, you want the payments that you've paid, you want the to show the contract between you and that debt collector. Like, who are you? I never did business with you. Why should I even talk to you about this? Have them send you that information. And then if it's all proven, if everything is proven, hey, because you're going to end up paying some collections.
Right.
Then you go into a negotiation phase, and you push hard to get the lowest amount settlement so you can move forward. If they don't have it, say that you ask for that information, they don't provide it to you. They take you to court. You get a court summons. You answer the court summons. And then when you go to court, you tell the judge, "Here is the letter that I sent to them asking for all of the information to prove this debt." I guarantee, well, I can't say I guarantee you, but it happened for me in court, and it happened for my clients You tell the judge, because their attorney will say, well, I need more time to get this, because they didn't expect you to show up. They just wanted to get a default judgment.
Okay.
They're going to say, can we get more time? And when the judge tries to give them more time, you say, excuse me, your honor, I have a letter here from a month ago. uh, I gave them time and I wish to have this dismissed. It'll get dismissed. There's been plenty of people from YouTube that took my information on how to do that and got them dismissed when they walked in the court.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know that that's a lot, so everybody go back through this video, because this is real deal. We're talking real deal. We deal with customers that have these problems on a daily basis. And so this is real deal. This is not theory. This is where myself, when I had my own credit issues, and customers that we gave them the information when they went into court, and they have won using this information. So this is real deal stuff.
Okay. And also in the chat room, I also put the website, the www.thecreditrepairshop.com. You can also get um, your credit reports at your3scores.com. And also you can give a call for your consultation at 866-803-5781.
Yeah, yeah, and I appreciate everybody that's here. Oh, I have a quick. Did anyone ask? Well, I was trying to see any other
No,
question, because I had a crazy one on my comments last night, and it hit me to where I had to write notes, because this young lady, I can't remember her name, but she said, what if I've been thinking positive for 20 years and I haven't got no results yet? I hope that you're listening or watching this video, because when you said that, I started writing, because I was like, I have to give you this answer. And I did type it, but I want to make sure that you understand it. So if everybody can go with me on this, because this stuff is important. This is what makes it different. This is what makes what's going to happen for you in your life different. What I'm about to tell you right now is what I run through my mind on a daily basis. She said, I've been thinking positive for 20 years, but I am not getting no results. And this is going to be the solution to it. Is that reason number one why you haven't gotten it is because you probably don't know exactly what you want. You can't think positive and not know exactly what you want. So you're just thinking positive, but you're not telling yourself, I'm thinking positive because this is the outcome that I want. And you need to be able to see that outcome. The next thing is that if you know what you want, then step two is you don't believe that you can get it. If everybody's probably got something that they didn't believe that they was going to get, and there's stuff that you want right now that you want, but you don't believe you can get it. You got to get that out of your mind. I run through this. This is not easy. I go through this on a daily basis where I catch myself. The next thing is that if you're getting those two, then step number three is you don't feel yourself having it. Have you ever got something and it's like you got that new car and you feel it, like it's, you go touch it, or you go into the dealership and you touch that car and you be like, this got to be mine. You may not even, you know that you maybe can't even afford it, or that you don't know how you're going to get it, but you had a feeling that that car is going to be yours, and you came out of that dealership with the car that you probably couldn't afford. That's because the thinking will when you think and you feel and you have a goal, you actually put into the universe to have other people help you get that. And we know that from with the Santander, even though they're taking advantage of people, people went into those dealerships and they were like, I want to get that car, and they just did all type of crooked stuff to get people that car. But you had the feeling that when went in there, you wanted that car. The next thing is that you need to imagine yourself having it and see yourself having it. This is where you go a step further. And when you wake up in the morning, you imagine yourself with what you got. You got to picture yourself with what you want. You can't just picture it. If you want that new house, you can't just see a picture of that new house. If you have a vision board, you can't just have the picture of the car and the house and the bank account and all that. You need to put a picture of yourself right in the middle, a picture of your family right in the middle of that. And that's how you see yourself having it. And all of a sudden, one day, things start to materialize. And then when they materialize, you become that person. That's why when people get to a certain goal in their life, sometimes you don't even think it's something real big, and that's because you've became that new person. It's not like you were at the goal start at the starting position anymore. Over time, as you kept thinking every day, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna have this, I feel myself having it, I see myself having it. And then the day that you have it, you'll be surprised because you'll be like, unless you look back, you'll be like, you know what, we accomplished this goal. But what usually happens is you accomplish it and then you start making some new goals. And that's the way you should always be growing, because you're going to become that person. So I hope she's here, and I hope she got this, because we're not going another 20 years for you without getting what you want.
Okay. Okay, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and end this stream. Remember,
Yep.
go ahead and share it
We
and
went.
hit that thumbs up button. And um, when do you think you'll see everybody again on another live?
We probably should do Friday.
Okay.
Friday. Yeah, I want everybody to get their questions up, and if any that come up after we finish up, I'll get in there and answer them. I'm doing my best, everybody, but I mean, some nights I have like 500 comments that I'm trying to answer, but I'm doing my best.
Okay. Okay.